Wilbur shook his head. Is it a web? Sort of, replied Charlotte. But do you know how long it took men to build it? 8 whole years. My goodness, I would have starved to death waiting that long. I can make a web in a single evening. What do people catch in the Queensboro Bridge? Bugs, said Wilbur. No, said Charlotte. They don't catch anything. They just keep trotting back and forth across the bridge, thinking there's something better on the other side. If they'd hang down at the top of the thing and wait quietly, maybe something good would come along. But no. With men, it's rush, 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 rush every minute. I'm glad I'm a sedentary spider. What does sedentary mean? Asked Wilbur. Means I sit still a good part of the time and don't go wandering all over creation. I know a good thing when I see it, and my web is a good thing. I stay put and wait for what comes. Gives me a chance to think. Well, I'm sort of sedentary myself, I guess, said the pig. I have to hang around here whether I want to or not. You know where I'd really like to be this evening? Where? In a forest, looking for beech nuts and truffles and delicate roots, pushing leaves aside with my wonderful strong nose, searching and sniffling all the ground, smelling, smelling, smelling. You smell just the way you are. Remarkable, a lamb who had just walked in. I can smell you from here. You're the smelliest creature in the place. Wilbur hung his head. His eyes grew wet with tears. Charlotte noticed his embarrassment, and she spoke sharply to the lamb. Let Wilbur alone, she said. He had a perfect right to smell, considering his surroundings. You're no bottle of sweet peas yourself. Furthermore, you are interrupting a very pleasant conversation. What were we talking about, Wilbur, when we were so rudely interrupted? Oh, I don't remember, said Wilbur. It doesn't make any difference. Let's not talk for a while, Charlotte. I'm getting sleepy. You go ahead and finish fixing your web, and I'll just lie here and watch you. It's a lovely evening. Wilbur stretched out on his side. Twilight settled over Zuckerman's barn, and a feeling of peace. Fern knew it was almost supper time, but she couldn't bear to leave. Swallows passed on silent wings in and out of the doorways, bringing food to their young ones. From across the road, a bird sang, Whippoorwill, whippoorwill. Lurvy sat down under an apple tree and lit the pipe, and animals sniffed the familiar smell of strong tobacco. Wilbur heard the trill of the tree road and the occasional slamming of the kitchen door, and these sounds made him feel comfortable and happy, for he loved life and loved to be a part of the world on a summer evening. But as he lay there, he remembered what the old sheep had told him. The thought of leaving came to him, and he began to tremble with fear. Charlotte, he said softly. Yes, Wilbur. I don't want to go. Of course you don't, said Charlotte in a comforting voice. I just love it here in the barn, said Wilbur. I love everything about this place. Of course you do, said Charlotte. We all do. The goose appeared, following her 7 gooselings. They thrust their little necks out and kept up a musical whistling. Like a tiny troop of pipers, Wilbur listened to the sound with love in his heart. Charlotte, he said. Yes, said the spider. Were you serious when you promised you would keep them from getting rid of me? I was never more serious in my life. I'm not going to let them take you away, Wilbur. How are you going to save me? Asked Wilbur, whose curiosity was very strong on his point. Well, said Charlotte vaguely, I don't really know, but I'm working out a plan. That's wonderful, said Wilbur. How's the plan coming, Charlotte? Have you gotten very far? Is it coming pretty along? Wilbur was trembling again, but Charlotte was cool and collected. Oh, it's coming all right, she said lightly. The plan is still in its early stages and hasn't completely shaped up yet, but I'm working on it. When do you work on it? Begged Wilbur. When I'm hanging head down at the top of my web. That's when I do my thinking, because then all the blood rushes to my head. I'd be too glad to help, and I'd be only too glad to help in any way I can. Oh, I'll work it out alone, said Charlotte. I can think better if I think alone. All right, said Wilbur, but don't fail to let me know if there's anything I can do to help, no matter how slight. Well, replied Charlotte, you must try to build yourself up. I want you to get plenty of sleep and stop worrying. Never hurry and never worry. Chew your food thoroughly and eat every bit of it, except you must leave just enough for Templeton. Gain weight and stay well. That's the way you can help. Keep fit and don't lose your nerve. Do you think you understand? Yes, I understand, said Wilbur. Go along to bed then, said Charlotte. Sleep is important. Wilbur trotted over in the darkest corner of his pen and threw himself down. He closed his eyes, and in another minute he spoke. Charlotte, he said. Yes, Wilbur. May I go to my trough and see if I left any of my supper? I think I left just a tiny bit of mashed potatoes. Very well, said Charlotte, but I want you in bed again without delay. Wilbur started to race out to his yard. Slowly, slowly, said Charlotte. Never hurry, never worry. Wilbur checked himself and crept slowly in his trough. He found a bit of potato, chewed it carefully, swallowed it, and walked back to bed. He closed his eyes and was silent for a while. Charlotte, he said in a whisper. Yes. May I get a drink of milk? I think there are a few drops of milk left in my trough. No, the trough is dry, and I want you to go to sleep. No more talking. Close your eyes and go to sleep. Wilbur shut his eyes, Fern got up from her stool and started for home, her mind full of everything she had seen and heard. Good night, Charlotte, said Wilbur. Good night, Wilbur. There was a pause. Good night, Charlotte. Good night, Wilbur. Good night. Good night. And that is the end of our chapter. So, like I promised, I'm going to have some questions linked down below or posted below, written below. Please discuss it with your child, review those questions, and then I would love to see some of your responses. I love hearing back from you guys. It's just such a great way for us to connect right now. Please let me know if I can help you in any way, or if you're stuck on a question, I can always refresh your memory. Have a wonderful night, and I look forward to hearing back from you. Bye, guys.